Okay, so next up we're going to talk about the Carta Content Options. Come over here to Skin Content. The first content option we have is the copyright box. The copyright box is located in the bottom of every footer, down here in the copyright, and it gives you the opportunity to enter your company name, and once you enter your company name and the beginning date, it will update your page and put copyright 2009 to 2013 link in the web, all rights reserved, right? So that's what the copyright date box does for you. Next up, we have the featured page settings. You have the featured page read more, and you have the featured page query box. Featured page 1, 2, and 3 goes like 1, 2, and 3. Now nothing is set here, so you can't see those. But if we come over to the query box featured page 1, this is set up specifically to show featured pages. Now you can show other things if you choose, right? You can, well, we're going to select a page first. So we'll select have a Cuppa as this one. And then come back over to Skin Content. And for the second one, we'll select our menu page. And then for the third one, we'll select our reviews page. And now that we've done that, when we refresh this, we have our 3 featured pages. Now what this featured page widget displays right off the bat, I'm sorry, it's not a widget, it's a query box. What it displays is the featured page image, right? That was one of them that was automatically created by Agility, this 320 by 200 pixel wide image, so 320 by 200. It automatically creates these images, and then it adds the title of the page, it adds the excerpt for the page, and then it has this read more button. Okay. Somebody recently asked, well, how do you get this image to show up in here? Well, you'll get that image to show up there from inside that page editor itself by making it the featured image. So if we come over here to edit page, it's the featured image here. So what you do is you set the featured image, and then, you know, pick an image that you want to be featured. Let's pick that one. I don't think I've been using that. Oh, let's pick this one here. I know I didn't use that picture. So have a Cuppa. There we go. That's a good picture for that. So there's our featured image. And if we update that, you can see it changed the image here. Plus, over here on our home page, now we've got that image as our featured image. Okay. So that's how you set the featured image. And then if you look inside the editor, for the front page template, just like any other query box, you can open up attention boxes, open up attention left, open up the featured page 1, and change stuff around. Right now we're using the WP featured image, and we're linking it to the post, and we're saying use the featured page image size. You could choose the tiny thumbnail size, which would, well, let's just do that just for grins. Obviously, it's going to look funny. But when you do that, this one is going to change, right, to have a little tiny image instead of the larger image. So featured page. And then, it's got the image, the headline, the excerpt, and the read more. And you can customize these just like you would customize anything else inside of the thesis query box, including, adding any of these things back up to it, right? So anything you might want to add instead of this, you can do so inside of this featured page 1 query box. Now, you don't have to have a query box here. You could take the query box out and use a text box instead. You could take the query box out and put a widget area instead. You could take this query box and instead of, let's refresh this page. And instead of showing a featured page, you could show, a number of posts if you chose. There's all kinds of things you can do with that query box. And let's come back over to that scan content for a second. We're going to leave this read more link alone, but this read more link we're going to change. And instead of saying learn more, what we'll say here is check out our menu. Check out our menu. And now that's going to change that read more text button. All right, come back over to skin content again, and we'll change the featured page, read more. And this one will say read our reviews. Okay, so that's what this will do for you. It gives you the chance to change out, the text in each one of those things. Okay, and then if we come back over to skin content, there are a couple other things to talk about. The nav menu top and the nav menu secondary. Nav menu top is the menu that we're using in the top. And you can choose, any of the menus that you've got created there. Same thing is true with that secondary menu. I'm not currently using the secondary menu anywhere in the template, so it's not going to show up anywhere. But if I were using it, I would set the menu that shows up as secondary here. Next up, you have the top footer widgets. Well, actually, you have the read more link. This is the typical read more link. That is the one that shows up not in the attention boxes, but on the home page. This read more right here, you can change that typical read more link simply by changing the text here from read more to I don't know, we'll change it to more for the moment. Doesn't really matter what it is. You can make it whatever you want it to be. So that's the typical read more text. And then finally over in skin content, we have the top footer widgets. Right now the top footer is showing 4 widget areas. But you can change that. You could change it to 3 widget areas or 2 widget areas or just 1 widget area, whichever you see fit. And this is created using the Carta Smart Widget Columns. And so I'm going to show you how to use that Smart Widget Columns for other types of widget areas as well. But I'll do that here a little bit later on. But nevertheless, this is using the Carta Smart Widget Columns options. And then you'll have the thesis attribution, which I'm not actually using anywhere on the template, but to the extent that you want to use the thesis attribution, you can put that text in here and drag it someplace in the template and use it that way. Okay, that's the skin content.